What's up, guys? Welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today we've got a special episode for you. We're partnering up with Wheatley Vodka to bring you 5 easy vodka cocktails. Wheatley has a brand new show we're helping them promote called Proof, which is a cocktail competition series that pits 3 influential bartenders against one another to create the absolute best cocktail they can with a themed basket of ingredients. The judge panel is made up of influencers and industry professionals headed up by Harlen Wheatley, who's the master distiller over at Buffalo Trace. And basically what they do is they have to have a good knowledge of classics. They're judged on their presentation and style, their cleanliness, and it is a really, really fun show to watch. Before we get into the video, let's talk a little bit about Wheatley Vodka. Wheatley Vodka is made at the Buffalo Trace Distillery. It was created by master distiller Harlen Wheatley, and it is made with the same red winter wheat that you'll find in the Pappy Van Winkle and Weller bourbon lines. Because it is made at a bourbon distillery, it is limestone filtered water, and they distill it 10 times. So basically what they do is they take a 7 times distilled grain distillate and a 7 times distilled wheat distillate. They add those together and then they distill a further 3 times. They thought that 10 times was like just the right amount to get that nice kind of smooth finish where you're not getting overpowered by ethanol. It's bottled at 82 proof because, you know, just plainly, bartenders like, and including myself, like to have a higher, heftier proof alcohol. It helps you to showcase the alcohol a little bit more, and it doesn't kind of disappear in kind of more robust flavors. All right, guys, let's get into it. 5 easy vodka cocktails. Let's go. First cocktail up is called the Lemon Drop. The Lemon Drop was purportedly created in the 1970s by a guy named Norman J. Hobson, who was the son of dairy farmers. He grew up in upstate New York, and after his military service, he landed in San Francisco. While in San Francisco, he opened a bar called Henry Africa, which was opened in 1969, and it was decorated with hanging plants and ferns, and it became known as the definitive and the very first fern bar. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know what a fern bar is. I guess it's just a bar decorated with ferns. Kind of like, it kind of reminds me, when I looked at a picture of it, it kind of reminds me of a kind of tiki style thing. Anyway, it was a very, very popular bar, and it closed in 1986 due to a dispute over their lease, which happens to a lot of bars, and it's really sad. All right, let's get into making the drink. First thing we're gonna do is 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, 1/4 of an ounce of Cointreau, 2 ounces of Wheatley vodka. We're gonna add our ice into our big tin. Add our cocktail, give it a nice shake. Now, before we pour our cocktail, we need to rim the glass with sugar, which is the traditional garnish. So we're just gonna take a little lemon wedge and just sort of work it around the rim of the glass. I like to do it halfway, not all the way around. And the trick is not to get any sugar inside the glass, so I like to do it on the outside and then just I like to have a nice, make it nice and even. Now, I'm gonna do this with my finger. If you're at work or something, or if you're doing this for people, do it with a napkin. But basically, I like to just like run my finger along and just make it a nice, clean line. So it's just nice and presentable because, you know, 50% of cocktails is the way it's presented. All right, cool. So let's center, let's give it a double strain. And then, even though this isn't technically what you would normally do, I like to do a little lemon oil on top and give it that nice, like, kind of 3-dimensional lemon flavor. So definitely optional, but you know, give it a little extra lemon. And there you have it. Typically you would sip from the sugar side because you want that extra sugar. I'm gonna sip it from the other side so I don't ruin my thumbnail. Now, okay. That is a very good cocktail. It is not super complex. I mean, it's basically just a vodka sour. You've got your simple syrup, lemon, vodka. But I will say that the Cointreau, right, gives it a little bit of orange and it makes it a little drier, which gives it a little bit more complexity. And the lemon twist is one of my favorite things. You get that lemon oil on top. And what you get with that lemon oil is sort of the essential oil of the lemon. It's not a lot of extra citric acid. There's no acid in there. So you just get that really deep and full lemon flavor. And there you have it, the lemon drop. Next cocktail up is called the Bitter Bead. The Bitter Bead was created sometime around 2010. I'm not exactly sure who the bartender is, and I added it to this list because it is a vodka cocktail that is very complex, even though it doesn't have a complex spirit. It is something that is visually striking, it is amazing on the palate, and it has continued to be on my list throughout all of the years that I've been working at Kohl's. And people really, really like it. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take about 6 to 8 mint leaves and put it in the bottom of our tin. Then we're gonna add 3/4 of an ounce of honey syrup, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 1 Demerara sugar cube, 2 ounces of vodka. We're gonna give it a light muddle. You want to press the sugar, but you want to lightly press the mint so that you're releasing the oils and not too much of the vegetable flavor that you can get if you press it too hard. Just releasing the oils in the mint. And we're just gonna take a very small little skosh of pebble ice, put it in our tin, and give it a nice whip shake. You can feel free to shake until most of the ice is gone or all of the ice is gone. And this is a shake and dump. So we're just gonna dump the contents into our glass and then just add ice on top until you hit the top of the glass. Now, I'm not gonna tell you how many Angostura bitters dashes. It depends on your dasher, but you want heavy Angostura on the top. And this is what's gonna give it a lot of its kind of awesome look. It's really Angostura to taste, but make sure that you coat the top of the glass, or the top of the ice for that matter. And then we're just gonna add a little pebble ice on top, and then give it a nice mint sprig. Garnish. Your little crushy pants and a slappy poo. And then just add that into the top. And we're gonna add our little straw. I got this really awesome straw from Surfside Sips too. It's like bamboo looking, I love it. I'm just gonna add that in there, give it a little taste. Now what's great about that is that you would think that having Demerara sugar in there and honey is gonna make it too sweet, but it's really not so. It's actually very lime forward and tart. The sugar, which is not completely dissolved, is actually a little bit granulated on the bottom. So as this cocktail dilutes, it's gonna get a little bit sweeter, and then you get that nice savory sweetness of the honey. Of course, as you go, the Angostura is going to combine into the cocktail, and as that happens, you're gonna get a lot of those like island kind of spice notes that the Angostura is so famous for. It is a brilliant drink. I love it a lot. So much so I gotta take another sip. And there it is. The Bitter Bead. For our third cocktail, we're gonna be doing the Cosmopolitan, which is arguably one of the most famous cocktails out there. Not just vodka cocktails, one of the most famous cocktails. This particular iteration of that cocktail was created by Toby Cecchini in 1988 at a bar called Odeon. And basically what it was there was another drink making the rounds in the club scene in San Francisco called the Cosmopolitan that used worse ingredients. And Toby Cecchini was introduced to this cocktail by a friend of his, and he said, these ingredients are really terrible. I wonder if I can reconstruct this and make this better. And then lo and behold, the modern classic Cosmopolitan was born. It is said to have been the favorite cocktail of Sandra Bernhard and Madonna. They used to hang out at Odeon in the late 80s and early 90s. It was a big celebrity hangout. And then, of course, as we all know, it was immortalized by Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City, and it became the signature cocktail of that show. All right, let's get into actually making the drink. First thing we're gonna do, 3/4 of an ounce of cranberry juice. Now, usually you would use ocean spray cranberry. I like to use Shishi cranberry juice from a health food store. Your choice. If you wanna make the original, then use ocean spray. Next up, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau, and then, last but not least, 1.5 ounces of vodka. I'm just gonna add our ice to our tin. Add our cocktail to our tin, give it a nice shake, give it a nice double strain. Look at that color. Bam, and look at that wash line. I love it. When the glassware is perfect for the cocktail, it just makes me so happy. And we're just gonna add a nice little lemon twist. I'm not even gonna do anything fancy with it. I'm just gonna lay it on the glass, but I'm gonna lay it this way so I can have a nice sip. What's great about that is that it's just not overly sweet. There's almost no sugar in it at all. You get, I'm sure the cranberry juice has a little bit of sugar. The Cointreau obviously has a little bit of sugar, but it's very, very, very dry. Cointreau is much more dry than like Grand Marnier or any other type of Curacao. You get your proof from the vodka. It's very good, it's very light, it's not overly sweet. And all of the ingredients are in harmony. I'm gonna twist this way so I can present it to you guys. The Cosmo. Our next cocktail comes to us by way of Jim Meehan and PDT, which is Please Don't Tell in New York City. He created it around 2014 and its name is Cocktail Culture. It is based on the Indian drink lassi, which is a traditional drink prepared with yogurt, spices, water, and sometimes fruit. So we are gonna be using this Noosa honey yogurt, which is what Meehan used in the original cocktail, this particular brand. But I would just say find some honey yogurt if you cannot find this brand. All right, let's get into it. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3/4 of an ounce of yogurt, and that equates to about 1.5 tablespoons of yogurt. Then we'll do 1/4 of an ounce of vanilla syrup, 1/2 ounce of passion fruit puree, and then 1 3/4 of an ounce of vodka. Now add some ice into our tin and give it a nice vigorous shake, which you are gonna have to do because you gotta make sure you're gonna break down all of that yogurt inside the tin. Give it a nice double strain. I love the richness and texture of this cocktail. Let's give it a good old sip. Now, the honey yogurt and the passion fruit is the dominant flavor in this cocktail. Although I gotta say that that little dab of vanilla is so nice on the end. You can taste the proof of the vodka, but it's actually so well balanced with the rest of the ingredients that you don't really feel it that much. This is a really, really pleasing drink. It'd be nice for a hot day. And I can also see this, you know, as like a holiday cocktail, if you will. It does have those nice flavors, honey, passion fruit, little vanilla, it's really nice. So there it is, the Cocktail Culture. And for our very last cocktail, I thought that we would do that other very famous, very cloud-pleasing drink, the Moscow Mule, but instead of doing it with lime juice and ginger beer, I thought that we would make a fresh kind of ingredient take on it. So first thing we're gonna do is 1/2 ounce of lime, 3/4 of an ounce of ginger syrup, 2 ounces of vodka. Add our ice, add our cocktail to the ice, add some ice to our glass, give it a nice shake. Double strain into our glass. And then just finish it off with some ginger beer. And then we're just gonna garnish with a little lime wheel. All right, let's take a sip. Oh, that is perfect, perfectly balanced. A lot of you might be asking yourself why you're gonna put ginger beer on something that has ginger syrup, and it kind of goes along the same lines as why you put lemon oil on something that has lemon juice. It just bolsters up the ginger flavor. And don't feel that it's too much ginger. It is just the right amount of ginger, citric acid, and the citrus from the lime and the spirit. The vodka's present, but it's not too hot. It's just like perfectly balanced. So there it is, the Moscow Mule. So there you have it, 5 easy vodka cocktails. I think that it's really important for you guys on your cocktail creation journey to really start thinking about using vodka in some drinks. Using vodka is really gonna help you to think critically about all of the other ingredients that you use to make a cocktail. Since the point of making a cocktail is to make something that is flavorful but balanced, and vodka is a neutral spirit, it'll really get you thinking about what all of those other flavors are doing. Every single one of the drinks before you were created by people who really understood what their ingredients were, and that's why they created something that really stood the test of time. All right, if you guys like our channel, please hit like and subscribe, and definitely hit the bell icon to get notifications when we post videos. Definitely check out Wheatley's new show, Proof. Links are below. It is a great show, and I know that you guys are gonna like it. I will see you guys on another time.